you had done something crazy when we were 13. We were 13. Like, I would never hold anything over your head. That happened when we were teenagers. I mean, come on. That's crazy. But
I know.
didn't do it.
And ditto.
Hadn't done anything. Yeah.
And ditto. Yeah, it was just a weird thing that happened where suddenly we went from being friends
we got
to
put
like
into the
walking
system,
into
man.
What?
We got put into the system. That's what happens.
We did. For me, it wasn't so much like I didn't read or see anything. I think there was just like an overall, like an energetic, what?
More like behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes, and like an energetic thing that happened where everyone suddenly would go like, do you guys need separate dressing rooms? Do you guys, is it okay if we announce you at the same time when you walk on stage? And all these things that came into it, and we're like, what? Like, how is there, what do you mean? Like, why are there rules? And why should I not be okay with that? Should she go first? Should I go first? Is there a reason why you're asking that? And then it got so weird.
Yeah.
Got so weird.
And here we are now.
And here we are now. But that was a moment for me, circling back, that was a moment for me, you know, when we finally reconnected, where I could like reconnect with the film that many years later. Okay, you select questions since you know how.
I'm looking. I don't want to click anything that I can't read the whole thing.
Smart.
Filming more scripted or more improv? I mean, we kind of answered that. It was like both.
Yeah, I think there were moments where, well, definitely a lot of like the physicality was improvised, I would say.
Yeah.
A lot of, you know, I don't know if you think, just based on your experiences that followed on different sets, if you felt like this was unique, but I know that every project I was a part of after this film didn't like, you don't get the freedom to like explore and play and experience. And because this was my first film, I just thought this is how it would always be. But Catherine would literally bring us into a room, you, me, Holly, Jeremy, and say like, okay, guys, do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Do it, and then whatever you do, we're going to figure out how to get that later. And that was how this film was made. And then after that, you know, you walk onto sets where like directors walk you in and say like, okay, so we've blocked this already.
Yeah.
And here's where you're going to go and what you're going to do. And if you try anything else, we're not going to get that. You know, it was just
takes all the creative juices out of the artist when you do that. Like, it's a bummer now. I've noticed it too when you come on the sets and people just block it out for you and tell you what to do instead of asking your input, or I don't know.
There's an art to that as well, by the way, and it's a nice skill to kind of, I guess, know and learn, and it's like it's a very different skill, obviously, following direction in that way.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I feel like it should be a give and take. You know, it's definitely more of a.
But it was very specific the way Catherine allowed us to experience that. It was like, okay, you guys do what you want to do, and then we're going to figure out how to make sure that ends up on film. Mm-hmm. And film, by the way, we shot on film.
We did, and we shot only about 9 hours a day because that's all we could work legally. And normally, what is it, 18-hour days or something?
And probably all we could afford.
Yeah.
Film-wise.
That's also true.
You know?
What was the budget on this movie again? Was it like two?
No.
1.5?
I think it was 1.5.
1.5, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was 1.5. And I think I got paid like $700 or something. Yeah. For the entire summer of shooting and then beyond, and then you like pay taxes on that. And I remember thinking I was the richest person in the world because I probably had $100 in the bank after, and it was so exciting. And you got a full new wardrobe apparently.
Well, I put it in my contract. I think I said that I wanted to keep the wardrobe.
I didn't have agents, managers. I didn't have like there were. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure by the end I had a contract, but it's just amazing to see. Like I was just. It was literally like a whirlwind experience. Just whoop, there you go.
Yep. And then it came out.
Oh, look, the questions went up into your bubble now.
Into my bubble? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of Dolores.
What's your favorite memory? What was the hardest scene to film? What was your favorite music track? Ooh,
Oh.
there is some really good music in the movie.
Yeah, do you know the story? I mean, Catherine put that together in the same way that she kind of put the rest of, yeah, you know, okay. You should talk about that for a second.
No, you do.
So, well, I don't remember. My memory is obviously not as crystal clear as yours, but I just remember Catherine sort of handpicking these artists that really, they needed this as an outlet as much as the film needed their work. You know, it was like, what's her name? Can you remind me? Katie Rose, who's
right?
so brilliant. Yeah. Yes, Katie Rose. And I think she was our age too, or definitely a teenager.
She was young. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was also really incredible, Catherine.
Liz Phair.
That
song at the end. Every time I hear that, it just gives me like a very specific feeling in my heart, because it meant that we went to so many screenings of that film. Every time I heard that song, it just meant the movie was over, and I knew that the audience was reeling. Because we would always walk in after people had seen the film, and it would just, no one could breathe. And we would always come in and give people permission to breathe.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we'd say, okay, you can breathe now.
Wow, I have so much blocked out of my head.
Yeah.
We did so many Q&As where we would walk into a theater and, like, no one was moving, and the whole thing, it was like they were holding their breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really, you could just feel it in the theater. You could feel it. And I haven't really had that experience with another film. I mean, kind of, but not like 13. I mean, really, it was palpable. It was just one of those things. I also really love the, back to the music question, the Clinic song. Was that Brady's idea? Clinic?
It was.
He had really good taste in music. And that song, the song where we're all tripping on acid, I think it was acid. We're supposed to be on acid.
By the way, again, like at the time, we just, we were like, is this what this, okay, great. What are we doing? We're just, all right.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. I remember being handed straws, like, okay, you're going to snort this in this.
We were snorting.
Never done that before.
Yeah, we did that scene where we had to crush up the fake pills and snort them. And it was lactate pills or something? Milk powder?
Probably.
Yeah.
I was going to say sweet and low, but.
No.
Maybe maybe that's what I did, and you know, to look cool as a kid in real life. I'm not sure.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, the music, Catherine was really collaborative in that sense. Like, how cool that she even allowed Brady to have that kind of input. It's just not allowed. That's not the right word. Welcomed, asked. Yeah. You know, all of us to have that kind of input. Very cool.
Yeah.
Part of the process.
Wild.
Yeah, it was sort of magic. I don't even know how to. Should I go into these questions that I saved and?
Yes, yeah.
There's so
them out, right?
Yeah. Now we've been chatting for so long that we might have. I'm not sure. Maybe we answered some of them. Oh, you know what? They're on that.
They're on the phone that we're using.
You're on my iPad and I have my phone. I did like. Did I tell you I read this? I read this too on the phone, but I thought it was really really sweet from Waterhouse. Dear girls, have you thought about making the sequel, and what if in the sequel Tracy is a good therapist who meets Evie, who is still a troubled woman? What would Tracy do, and would she forgive her, and how would she help her? I thought it was a sweet way to kind of like crack open the story in a different way, just to think about who those women could have become and what they, you know, what that relationship would be.
Yeah.
Later on. And then you said something really great to that, which was, what if Evie was the therapist and Tracy came in and had to sit down on that couch and they connected in that way? Yeah,
Tracy was the one that was all messed up still.
There are a lot of sequel questions in here. And, you know, of course, I mean, obviously there's no sequel that will ever happen, but there's the thought of like who, you know, we talk about that a lot, which is very fun. Just
we missed like, our opportunity to do 31 because I think we're both older than 31 now. Barely. Or
I mean, I'm still 31
for 31. So, you know, just keep it.
But we were a year older than 13 when we made 13. So
that's true.
If you want to share some of your wardrobe that you have from from your behind the scenes?
All I have is this. Like,
can you? No, you have a whole storage unit.
I do, but it's at my mom's. I'll have
But
to
you-
do it the next time. My mom has the.
No, not right now. I mean, if I come over when we're allowed to, when quarantine is over, we can put on all of our wardrobe and drive to each place, and that can be the sequel. I'm saying we can just recreate. That's the sequel.
It's just us going. Okay, yeah, that'll be it.
That's
Look
it.
at this though. Look how short. Look at this.
It was a crop top at the time.
It was.
Isn't it? Yeah, it still fits you. What are you trying to say?
I know. I have not put it on, and I don't know if I can.
You should put it on.
I don't know, man. It's like.
I mean, not on camera, but you should put it on.
But it's. I don't know.
That's, of all the things you could have right now, that's a pretty wild piece to have.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this
by the way, a few
like,
people are saying 31 would be super cool. 33 would be super cool. 31. I'm getting a lot of 31 and 33s. Mm-hmm. The hardest scene to film. I do have a lot of those. And how do you think this film would affect today's generation?
Oh God! I mean, I can't.
How is this therapeutic? I think we kind of went through that. The piercing scenes. Who would win a fight? Don't need to go there. Did we stay close? We talked a lot about that. A reunion. We're kind of doing that. Our favorite memory together. Oh, we could do an entire. That's another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie still fucks with my head. Evie sucked.
Hey, give her a break.
Yeah, but I hear you fucking with your head.
Yeah.
Ooh, what do you think about this movie and the character's behavior now that you're parents yourself? That's an interesting one. Anything jumping out to you?
Well, I mean, it kind of touched on it, talking about Mel's character and just being able to see now that she just didn't have the tools. And again, like, kids are smart. Teenagers are smart. Yeah. And they feel a lot, and we don't allow them that, and we don't validate it, and we're afraid to talk to them. And honestly, I feel like by the time they're teenagers, it's already too late. We should be having these conversations with them way earlier.
How? Like, what age?
Preparing them. I mean, things that are age appropriate, but I feel like you need to be, I don't know, from the reading that I've done and the research that I've done, you know, obviously my child is not a teenager yet, so I don't know. I can't speak from experience yet, but there are things that I feel like we should be talking about earlier, and especially with girls, and just preparing them, and you know, trying to outrun some of the societal brainwashing that happens, you know, and just not being afraid to have uncomfortable conversations. You know, I think we're terrified to talk to each other.
The media influence was a kind of very subtle but important part of the like undercurrent of that film, because you know, we were right in the heart of Hollywood, and this was a film about girls being raised in Los Angeles, mm-hmm. and so there was a lot of concern that the specificity of that wouldn't feel relatable. But the truth is, like, the billboards and the like constant subconscious influence of who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to, I can only imagine now being a 13-year-old girl with social media and the people who are supposed to be, and like those filters that we saw that through were filters that had to, like, sure, billboards and things like that, but now all day, every day, people are looking at like photoshopped images and filters across stories and who you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to put that image out there. Like, talk about fucked up. You were talking about an image that you had to put out there because you were an actress and had eyes on you. But now
it's kind of
every young girl is doing
that in some way. Yeah.
Like, they have an image that they have to feel, they have to create.
Yeah.
And
instant
all
feedback
day, every
from
day.
People.
I just can't imagine.
It's
actually too dark for me. I can't even go there when I start to think about how.
No, it's sad.
How are these young people? I mean, I guess we can ask you guys, but how are you going to navigate that? And to me, the only way to do that, honestly, is to leave social media and not be an active participant in that exchange of like, here's who you need to be, and here's how I'm going to present that to you. I just don't think, like, the development of a young I just don't know how to.
Yeah, it's a scary
That's the message for all of the young girls watching, I don't know
Yeah.
if the demographic watching this is like our age and
I know.
saw the film, or
Also,
if it's
I
young
saw
girls.
a comment about boys too, and I want to say I have a son, and what I said about the conversations also applies to boys, not just girls. I focus on girls because it's 13.
The movie.
It's how it relates to the film, but I 100% believe that we brainwash boys just as much, and that, you know, we're all fall prey to a society that tells us who we should be and how we should act, and it's become very toxic.
I do think that obviously it's important to put, you know, shine a light on both, but I do think I have to say, just watching and working so closely with so many young girls after this film, because, you know, I did a lot of like mentoring and and I do feel like there's a specific kind of pressure put on girls that I don't want to say outweighs, but it's definitely specific to women.
Oh yeah, it's different. It's different, yeah.
It's different. And I think maybe we should be taking some time to like really talk about and explore what that is for boys, since we do spend a lot of time as a culture maybe acknowledging that for young girls. That's totally true. But
I think it'd be important for us to learn about the other's experience too. Like, I think young boys should learn about a young girl's experience and what it's like to be a teenage girl, and young girls should learn about, you know, the male experience as well. I think we're probably more alike than we realize in certain ways, you know, but we're divided so quickly, you know, we don't know how to relate to each other anymore.
Well, we don't see each other. We're not connecting in person. There's such a lack of empathy and compassion and understanding, because honestly, it's hard to understand people in, you know, a 1 or 2 dimensional form, you know, and connecting through screens. Like, there's a lot of beauty in the internet and that kind of connection, of course, but I think in many ways it's caused us to disconnect, and especially with feelings and emotion, because of the lack of consequences, you know. That's the one thing, like, when I do think back at the film and the girls and how that, you know, there's a lot of pain, of course, in their relationship and dynamic, and how much Evie, you know, hurts Tracy throughout, but there's also a lot of like face-to-face acknowledgement of that pain, and when something went wrong or something happened, there was a way to like confront that, and not hide from that pain that you're causing someone, you know. And you learn from that.
Ooh, I saw a good one. Somebody just said, I'm the father of 2 girls, and do you have any advice for a father with 2 girls?
How old are your girls?
I think it said they were teenagers, but I'm not sure. Be present.
Yeah.
Just let them know they're loved, because bad things are going to happen to them. It's just inevitable. And it's true. I mean, girls are going to get hurt, and boys are going to get hurt. And, you know, the world can be wonderful and beautiful, but it can be cruel. And as long as you have people that love you unconditionally, I feel like that's everything. I feel like it's actually really simple. You just have to let people be who they are and be there when they mess up. And I do tell people this sometimes, because I felt like I was kind of too sheltered. This is just my experience, though. Again, like you said, my parents' experience would probably be different, but I wish I was allowed to mess up more when I was a teenager and I was safe under my parents' roof, rather than, you know, this abstinence only kind of approach of, well, just don't do it. It's like, well, but I'm going to do it.
A very different childhood.
You know what I mean? Just prepare me for it, because I'm going to do it. You know, it's going to happen. And like, I want to have an honest conversation about it and not feel bad for acting my age and for messing up and for getting messy. And I would hope that, you know, I could come home to somebody who wouldn't judge me and who would understand. That doesn't mean you let everything slide, you know, but
Sure.
I think it's okay for teenagers to fuck up, you know, and you just have to be able to have real honest conversations about it and not shame them for it, and validate their feelings. And, you know, no one's ever going to get it right or perfect, you know, and again, bad things will happen, but, you know, I've heard that people really just need one good parent. You know, as long as you got one good parent on your side that loves you and is there for you, you know.
Yeah, but I do think that the opposite sex relationship with a parent is a very plays a really important role in development. And of course, you know, love is love. So if you have one great parent, yeah, of course, that's more than you could ever, you know, need or hope for. But I also think for me personally, and I try not to talk about my family too much anymore. I learned very quickly from this, but I definitely had a more strained relationship with my father when I was a kid, and then as I got older and I found my way back to that, not only did we repair our relationship, but we like really developed a special bond that I think informed all of my decisions going forward about my own self-worth. And it's amazing how quickly just having that can like heal every wound. It's taught me a lot as a parent, I think, just how love can like kind of heal almost anything, and so quickly too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Being there and being present is what you just said is the best. I couldn't answer that man who asked that question any better than you did, because I think that is it. It's just being present and letting them feel like they're heard, and hearing them, not just allowing them to feel heard, but actually hearing them.
Actually hearing them, giving them a voice. Yeah. Letting them have autonomy.
Yeah. I'm reading through these too.
There's absolutely hope for damaged parental relationships. I just saw somebody say, wow, there is, for sure. It's never too late.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if both people are open, I agree.
You know, aside from like really abusive situations where you need healthy boundaries, and that's something totally different, but you know, my hope is that it's never too late.
Podcast?
I know, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's actually not a bad interesting idea.
I mean, if people
like,
want to see what you and I talk about on FaceTime all day, every day, then maybe. But I have to warn you guys, it's mostly gardening and herbs.
Yeah.
So Evan got an herb garden, and she knows that this is a big deal to me. You've now graduated into a little gardener.
Podcast.
So that's what we talk about. Mm-hmm.
They're going to it.
Have you had experience with drugs or alcohol before the movie? I think we talked about that. Can you speak gibberish still? What a great question.
Go get a guess what a geek again. Get a guy, get a gink.
Get a go, get a guy, get a guy. What a geek, get a guard, get a go, get a gang, that it is. We haven't done that in 17 years.
And that's also in the movie because we were doing that on set, and then Catherine was like, what's that gobbledygook language you guys do? Do that.
Is that how that happened?
She called it gobbledygook, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's how that ended up in there.
Yeah.
Ooh, back to the podcast. I don't know, 13 going on 31. Get it? Do. So sweet. It's so sweet to see how many of you have actually seen this film and
how many haven't and are now going to go watch it. That's exciting. Good luck.
That's true too. I've seen a few of these. Yeah. And herbs, let me just define herbs really quickly because I've seen a couple of those comments. She's growing calendula.
Yeah.
And rosemary, and she sends me pictures of all of her little seedlings and asks me how much to water them. Mm-hmm. And I help her make balms out of them.
Balms.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Balms.
We went from bongs to balms.
Yeah, balms. That's right.
That will be.
That's the bottom of the. That's the
going
short
to be
the
podcast name.
That's right. From bongs to balms.
Oh God.
This is so sweet, you guys.
You guys are so awesome.
Thanks
for tuning in, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
Man, I just said man like 2,000 people. I don't know.
Do you still remember some of the lines? So many.
Oh yeah.
No bra, no panties.
Oh,
probably.
That is the one that haunts me. Forever. You know, people
Is it?
People say no bra, no panties to me all the time.
Really? Like they walk up to you on the street and say that?
Oh. I'm like, that's. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I also saw.
That's definitely a rough one if you're having like tacos with a friend on a Tuesday night, and that's what someone chooses to come up and say to you.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I wonder if anybody has any 13 tattoos.
Oh, do you?
I don't. I have tattoos, but not any that
Not
I was too
13.
young. Yeah.
Actually, I think so. I think I've seen, how would I find that now? Well, I guess I could ask if any of you do tag us in a photo of it and we would see it. But yeah, I have seen throughout the years. I've seen a few. I didn't
My phone's
watch
gonna
because
die.
my mom let me. Your phone's gonna die?
Yeah, my portable charger's dying.
I told you that was gonna happen.
I know. Well, that's why I've been charging it, but.
Well, I love you.
Love you.
When you charge your phone, call me in a minute. Recap on this. This was really fun. We didn't get to any of the questions that I promised, but I feel like somewhere in there we covered most of these. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of this with us.
That was a good line of yours. Mothers, lock up your sons. That's.
Oh, that haunts me.
I feel like I'm no bra, no panties, and your mother's lock up your sons.
I didn't mean it, you know? I didn't mean it. That was a Catherine line, actually. Do you remember that?
Wait a minute, I said that line. I thought you said that line. Right?
Oh, I said the line before that, and you said that line, but that was a Catherine line.
Right.
That was when we were walking down Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, we were really walking down Hollywood Boulevard.
Wait, who said that?
I feel like maybe it was me. There's a bird behind me. I feel like it was me.
We'll watch the film together. We'll watch it together.
We were like arm in arms when we had the dreads and.
Yeah, I was lighting a cigarette.
The cornrows. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Oh. Okay.
The times. I never know how to end these things, so.
Literally how to end it? I think we pushed some X's. Or do you mean like what to say when you're ending? I think
just
we
say when we're ending. We love you guys.
Someone said that you said that line, so it was you.
Okay.
But it still haunts me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for chatting with us. This is her and I are a little speechless still when we talk about this because there's actually so much that we can. I mean, it's just such a huge part of our lives forever and something that neither of us have really been able to kind of, I don't know, move past because it just lives with us. So
it was a part of us, you know.
Yeah,
and
it still is.
It's a big part of us that we just kind of took out and put in the world. Now it's got a life of its own.
It has a life of its own. Yeah. That's the only movie poster. I have that poster in my house. It's actually in my garage now. I just moved it, but I walk by and it's like you and I, 4 feet tall, with our tongues sticking out, and I still am like, I can't believe just that visual. I mean, it's all so jarring. It's just so.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw the poster, I was like, oh shit.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
And then we continue to have a bunch of oh shit moments forever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you were talking about the Kip scene, it kind of brought up a lot for me because I haven't thought about that whole process and what that was like to film that scene in forever. And just, you're totally right. We spent all this time thinking it was going to be like so fun and so cool. And we were so excited because I think we both thought he was super hot. I'm sure we did.
Yeah, we were all talking. We were like,
yeah, and playing it cool. And even I think with each other, we were probably like, wanting to make sure the other person knew that we were
totally cool. Yeah.
Yeah, totally cool. And then getting there, and neither of us, and especially for me, there was always so much pressure on me to look like I knew what I was doing, because Evie knew what she was doing, and she was like the influence and shit, and I was just terrified. Just terrified.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we were there. We were in the trenches together.
Oh God.
Love you though. Okay. And love to our on-set teacher, Honore.
Honore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Honore.
She kept us safe.
She did.
She did.
This is so sweet, you guys.
Love you guys. I feel like I should end it before it dies, but I could talk to you all day. So.
Bye.
Love you.
I'll talk to you when your phone charges.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.